Hi, I'm Patrick Reid from the Adamis Principle. I just want to give you a little recap of today. Bit of a, the market post midterms. Dollar was a bit soft, risk was bid. To me, that was a bit odd because obviously the Dems got the House. So Trump and the Republicans are obviously pro-business. However, it is what it is. I sense maybe there was a bit of repositioning after that. Nothing really was tradable for me on the night. So all well and good, risk bid, dollar soft, until the Fed on Wednesday, things kind of changed. And I think now the dollar's coming back into the picture. So the current picture at the moment, dollar is bid and risk is looking quite soft. The Fed didn't say much on Wednesday. However, they did stand pat. They did remove the word accommodative. So I just think deficits, EM got hammered. So all of the EM pairs were lifted. And this is obviously the dollar shortage narrative. And it's also, the EM countries struggling to pay their deficits because it's dollar denominated. So let's just take a look at the first slide, euro dollar. This is interesting. 114.65 failed. It failed to stay above. So just a classic toppy pattern really. And we broke above we broke below 114.30 and then stayed below 114, the big figure. Just a classic top, not quite a head and shoulders, but just a classic top. 113, the big figure. This looms large. I've been talking about this with my students. I've been blogging about it on LinkedIn with my sort of friend Beat, who's a macro know-all, basically, in a good way. Talk of China down there, it's got their handwriting over there, coincides with dollar renminbi at 7. So will this break? I think it's probably due for another test. Could expect buys down there, very, 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 very big buys. But eventually, if we're still on the dollar firm wagon with the rate path, I think I see it eventually breaking. But 114.30 to 60, the key area to cap any to keep the bears happy. The next slide, dollar yen. So this is interesting because as you know, as a risk seller, I don't like selling dollar yen just because you've got a ding dong with US yields, okay, and you've got a bit of a tug of war there. However, I think things are certainly things are getting a little bit easier. I do like 114.30 to 70 to sell. I sold a little this morning at 114, the big figure. I think we need to stay below that for a retest down to the 30s and then hopefully a bit lower. But it's, you still have, it is quite complicated to trade this just because risk flows and US yields are conflicting. So just be careful. Don't lump in any size on that one. That's my advice. So the next slide, WTI. This is only about an inflation story. I always like to check this just to see where the global inflation picture is. We're just getting renewed weakness. I'm not going to go into the reasons why I think why, but what I will say is expect softer prints, especially in the US in the next couple of months. Headline, okay, it's headline misses. Is the Fed worried? No. Am I worried? No. Is the US macro picture still largely pristine? Yes. The Fed looks at the core, but it's always a good chart to look at. Next two slides, Euro yen, massive, great if you're into selling risk like myself, a really nice slide there. I just think, the key level at the moment, which is, I think it's hitting it today on Thursday, is 129. Quite a tough level, but I prefer to be selling into 130, as you know. And then the final slide, Aussie yen. For me, the line in the sand is 83.20. I remain a rally sally into that level, very nice level. But if we break below, you know, that yellow line is the 200-day moving average. If we break below that, it's definitely, for me anyway, when I'm selling into risk, I don't sell into breaks lower. I only sell into strength. That's just my thing. Be careful also, and I'll wrap on this, be careful on, you know, we're at the end of the cycle. Vol is increased. Just be really careful on lumping any size selling into risk if you're that way, if you're that side of the fence, because you get tear your face off moves and you get squeezes and you get rallies. I still think equities are leading the charge. So, you know, what I tend to do is to sell small at market and add to the position. That's it from me, Patrick Reid, keeping it real from the Adamis Principle. Thank you.